We're working through all the free video tutorials on the Bernette 33 and the Bernette 35 sewing machine. And this time we're going to dive into selecting stitches, how to select a different stitch length, stitch width, and what are the differences between the black stitches and the red stitches. And this is the video that we're going to identify why this machine has 3 knobs and this machine, the Bernette 33, only has 2 knobs. So really comparing these 2 models together, where most of the stitches are going to stitch the same, you're going to find that there are a few stitches that have a little bit more adjustment opportunities on the Bernette 35. So if you're looking to see which of these models to purchase, watch this video in its entirety. And we have a link in the description below to the complete playlist of all the videos that we have done on these machines. Learning how to clean and oil and maintain the machine, how often to have it serviced at your local sewing machine store, and a few bonus things like using a twin needle or a walking foot are also included in everything that you can learn about these machines. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, and we do free video tutorials on sewing machines, sergers, and embroidery machines. So check out all the links that we have in the description below. And if one of these machines looks like it's the right for you, we have links below that you can click on and purchase. Plus, the Bernette sewing machines have a great option for accessory feet to take this machine beyond just the normal built-in stitches. If you haven't already, make sure you click right up here and find the how to thread this machine and how to master your needle threader, because that's going to make life so much easier as you work between different colors of thread and as you switch from project to project. So where should you start when you just want to sew a basic straight stitch? You want to be on selection A, so A being your straight stitch. Start at a 2.5 stitch length, so just make that middle area be right here at the top where the little indent is. And stitch length is determined in millimeters, so 2.5 millimeters long is a stitch that's perfect for kind of a medium weight fabrics, but as we'll do with thicker fabrics, we'll go to a higher or longer stitch length. So instead of having you pushing your fabric through, if you've ever had to help it or you thought you were helping it, all you need to do is just lengthen the stitch length and let those teeth that are underneath your presser foot help pull the thicker fabric through. So sometimes if I'm working on multiple layers of fleece or some of the new cuddle fabric or minky fabric, it's very kind of fluffy and it's tall. I'll be in a stitch length somewhere in the higher 3 to 4 range. So just find what really looks good where you're not having to push it all the way through. When you're working with finer fabrics, you're going to shorten the stitch length down to 2 and you'll have a nice seam that's going to hold together. So over here, when you're on a straight stitch of selection A, the only thing that this knob does is actually moves the needle position. So at 0, your needle is all the way to the far left, and at 5, which is where I want you to have it, the needle position is actually in the center of the foot. Now, if you are using the seam allowance lines along the throat plate, that is measured from the center needle position. So if you've moved this for other reasons, make sure that when you're sewing straight and you want the needle in the center, have it set at 5. And that's that little tiny dot in the center of the oval indicating where the needle is actually sitting. Now we're going to go into why you would even need a needle position and how to adjust it. I use it sometimes as zippers or stitching along the edge to get a more closer to that edge finish. So adjusting stitches, just turn the dial to the one you want. So B would take us to a zigzag, and then your zigzag width is determined by the width of this knob. So that's why the small, medium, and large zigzag is showing right there. That's how I remember which knob is going to make it wider. And of course, this one will make it short to long, so stitch length. Now, if you can't remember, I have been seeing people put sticky notes right here, or even taking a Sharpie and writing right on their machine that this is stitch length and this is stitch width. And that is totally acceptable. It's your machine. So as you go through all these different letters, you'll get each of those different stitches. Anytime that you want to have the stitch that is in red or the lower level, all you'll do, pick the stitch you want, and then turn this whole dial to the red S. So S equals stretch stitches. These are great for anytime you need to work on knit fabrics or fabrics that are stretchy, but they can also be decorative as well. And depending on how they're stitching, they have a forward and back look to them. So you can actually adjust like how far back forward they go. If it's not meeting up, you can actually kind of go a little to the plus or a little to the minus. So this is kind of a little bit of a range as you go. But if it's on S, you will get the stitches on the lower side of the letters instead of the top side. So let's just go ahead and jump over to the Bernette 33. So the knob we're missing is the stitch width knob. So on this machine, as you have it set for basic straight stitching, you would be on A at 2.5. B is going to move the needle to the far left needle position. So on this machine, you have a center and a left position, where on the Bernette 35, you've got every position in between that, not just middle and left. So that is one of the options there. And when you get to zigzag, what you'll have, and you can kind of see by the picture, a wider and narrower version. So if you are closer to B, your zigzag's going to be little or narrower. And if you want the widest zigzag option, you'll turn it to all the way to the C, and that will give you a full 5mm zigzag option. So that means that when you get to any of the other stitches, both in the black or the red, you are preset for your stitch width. So that means your width is going to be 5mm for all these stitches, and you don't have like the adjustment in between, which honestly is probably just fine for most people's sewing options, but you do have at least the option for different widths of zigzag. The other thing that we will get to is how to do a buttonhole, which is a little different on this machine. It's done in 4 steps. We're on the Bernette 35. It is a little bit more automatic. When you get to the buttonhole video, we'll show you the 2 differences of buttonholes that these machines stitch. So if you're looking for a place to start, put it at A, put it at 2.5, thread up the machine, and you're ready to start sewing. Once you've selected your stitch, I want to show you that you can actually adjust your stitch length or width while you're sewing. So if you're sewing, you can adjust this dial to a longer stitch length. You can see the fabric going through the machine much faster, or you can do it and make it much closer together. Those stitches are much tighter and a little harder to take out, so don't sew down here unless you really want to be securing something really, really well. Again, reverse is right there at your fingertips, but you can change it while you sew. I always have people, when we do classes, to actually do this, because most people don't realize that that is a true statement. So what you will want to do is, if you are switching stitches, like going from a straight stitch to a zigzag, and your needle has stopped in the fabric, so right now my needle's down. If I switch it over to B, that needle is going to drag itself to where it needs to start, which is either to the left or to the right. So I would recommend that you always bring your needle up, turn your hand wheel towards you, out of the fabric before changing your knob to a different stitch. Now, here's a little trick. If you're actually sewing and in motion and you were to change it, it's probably not going to make a big difference, because that needle will actually be moving fast enough that it's not being dragged while it's in the fabric. But most of the time, you're just going to stop, bring your needle up, switch your stitch to the stitch that you're looking for, take a few stitches, or like I'm doing on 2 layers of fabric, is to test the stitch and see if you like how long it is, how close together it is. So now I'm on C, which is a multiple point zigzag. Now we'll be using this as a mending stitch later, but right now it's really just traveling down the fabric quite quickly, like not really doing anything, but it is a good stitch for working with like elastic if you were stitching through and it would have some give to it as you go there. But you can also adjust that stitch while it's sewing to be much closer together. Like I said, what we'll do with a mending stitch, get it so close together, go back and forth a few times, and it will lay down a serious amount of stitches that will allow you to actually mend as you go. So see how well that is secured. So if you had a rip in your fabric, that would be one way to do it. And we do use C for that particular thing. All right, let's jump down because this machine actually has some decorative stitches starting at H. So let's go all the way to H. I want decorative stitches to be as wide as possible, so we're going to leave it at 5. And even though that's where it was, when you get to a stitch that has side-to-side jumping here, that means how wide it is. So usually with decorative stitches, you want the widest that can be. And then let's go ahead and start at 2.5. And I'm going to sew H, which is kind of like a little scallop. It won't look like much because it's so stretched out. But as soon as you bring it down, because these are meant to be like a satin stitch is when the stitches are really close together, you're going to be between 0 and 1. So you can fine tune this. So I'm going to sew a little bit, and then I'm going to adjust a little closer to 0, and then sew a little bit more. And then I'm going to show you the difference as we adjusted it. You're going to notice that the stitches actually got denser. So the closer that I got, as I shortened it, the stitches got more filled in. And especially as I got towards the end, it was really looking nice and fun and filled in. That's usually what I'm looking for in a dense satin stitch decorative stitch. But you have control of it. And the reason you have control too is because it all depends on the thickness of thread that you're using. So if I had used a thicker thread, well, probably up here where I started, the stitches would have been close enough. They might have even started to pile up if the thread was kind of on the chunky side. And on the opposite side, if I had a little bit thinner thread than this, I would have needed to bring this closer in stitch length so it would fill in and not have gaps in like my fabric showing through. So anytime that you're sewing or trying different settings, just know that you can turn this just a little bit at a time. You can kind of feel there's like a little stop each time. It looks like a range, but it's actually got some little steps, and you'll feel it when you turn the knob, and you can get it nice and close. Now if you get it too close and your stitches aren't really forming, but they are, and they're not going anywhere, or you're having to pull it to keep it going, then you've just got the stitch length too close together. So just lengthen it out and you will have the right look. Now let's just jump down to those stitches that are down below. Let's go C, which is kind of like, I always call this a honeycomb stitch, and then turn your stitch length dial to S, and we'll leave it at the widest setting. Lower your presser foot. I'm so used to having machines that do that for me these days, so I sometimes have to remind myself to do it on this one. All right, so you can kind of see the fabric going forward and back. And with this stitch, we have a stitch that is perfect for knit fabrics. So as you will see it here, that honeycomb stitch has a little bit of gap in between. So now what we can do is go a little to the plus or the minus. Now, I'll tell you the truth, I don't know which way to go. So we're just going to sew it, and it either gets better, and then I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go minus. Yes. Or it gets worse. So 50-50 shot on which one. So you can see I was spreading it out even more at the plus and then pushing it together more at the minus. So that's what we're talking about when having a little range. It's how far back the stitch goes to connect to its previous stitch. So you can find that happiness, and that will change based on the fabric you're working on. So that's nice to have that option in that range. So I would recommend, if this is a brand new machine for you, you is to sit down, take a piece of fabric. I'd do like a nice longer piece with some stabilizer, or double it up. 2 layers of denim is to go ahead and sew a row of stitches of each one of these. We call it sewing a stitch book, but I will tell you that this won't get you much of a book, but you'll get a page worth of stitches. It's a great way to test out your machine, learn how to select your stitches, learn some of the options like make it long, make it short, make it in the middle, and you will actually get a different looking stitch as you go. And that will get you comfortable with what these stitches look like, and you'll be surprised that some of these that look kind of funky and you're like, I'll never use them, will actually look much better stitched out than pictured right here at the machine. What we're going to do is we'll put a link right up here in this corner of where you can go learn how to stitch a stitch book and why we talk about it, and encourage all of our sewing users to stitch out all their decorative stitches. All right, if this has been helpful, make sure you're clicking like on all the videos as a way of saying thank you, and find those links down in the description below. And we have lots of resources for finding bobbins and needles and everything of the sort for these machines. Happy sewing!